In 2010, two 10-year-old boys decided to make a YouTube show. It would be an animated reality show inspired by the popular show Total Drama Island, which was itself inspired by the show Survivor. This new show, called Battle for Dream Island, or BFDI for short, was unique for two reasons. The show was similar to these other shows in that it would have a challenge between teams, and the losing team would be up for elimination. However, this show would actually let the viewers vote for who they wanted to be eliminated off the team in YouTube comments. The last contestant would win the Dream Island, the prize of the show. The second part that was unique was that instead of the contestants being animated humans, they were anthropomorphic objects with stick limbs and faces. This helped the show stand out visually and caused many comedic interactions. I grew up with this show and I really like it. I've watched every single episode of every season. However, for this video, we'll only be critiquing the first season because I believe that's the one with the most problem. This show is the reason I started art and the reason for my style of art, and they're the only channel I've ever bought merchandise from. However, it's easy to see the many problems with this show, many being caused by just how simple it is, from the animation to the writing. The problem with the show isn't just the clunky animation and generic sock music. Because this show was made by two 10-year-old boys, it makes sense that the female representation wouldn't be that good. Most of these female characters are one-dimensional, and not even in a likable way. Lots of these characters embody common stereotypes toward women. You have characters that are klutzy, hot-headed, weak, angry, emotionally manipulative, gossipers, backstabbing, and more. In fact, most people wouldn't find a single one of these female characters likable. There are also forms of ableism in the show, but not from the creators. Some characters are more fragile than others, which leads them to be bullied by other contestants.
Here's a fun prank you can pull. Drill a hole into the Bubble Recovery Center, pour tax in, and watch Bubble pop infinitely. Ha 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 ha.
Some characters are also bullied for not having arms. This directly causes Ice Cube to become bitter, shaping her character not only for this season, but for the rest of the show. Some characters also can't talk in English, but these characters aren't treated badly for this reason. However, looking at the male characters gives us an idea of the bigger picture. Some of the male characters are also one-dimensional. Some are violent, some are stubborn, some are meek, and some are unintelligent. I think we need to realize that this first series was focused on character interaction instead of character development. It was simply made for a comedic story instead of complex narrative. Sometimes that's just what you want to watch. While the show might not have intended to put across these ideas that girls are one dimensional, some of the younger viewers of the show might not understand that. When I was 6, I thought girls were lame, and this show, by representing characters as gossipy and self centered, could have just helped to reinforce these negative stereotypes that I had already learned. After this first season ended, Karen Michael Kwong went on to create 3 more seasons, with a fourth one being 8 episodes in. We see how they evolve as writers and develop their characters. We also see how, as more people work on the show, it leads to an improvement in visuals and content. There are many instances of character growth, but my favorite is Flower, who tried to kill everybody in the first season. In the fourth season, BFB, she is finally allowed back to compete, where she finally makes friends. While she is still a little self-centered, she becomes much more likable and eventually wins the entire season, where she shares the final prize. We finally have likable female characters that we can relate to. We also see that ableism has decreased in this object society. This helps us look back at the first season and see that I wasn't actively trying to be harmful. I was just limited by young and inexperienced writers. Thank you for listening.